$895 price. 0 bed. 60 bath. I was looking for apartments earlier today and I think I found the perfect one. Me. Calls mom. Where are you? Mom. Bathroom 47. Comedy movie where someone starts tagging their own neighborhood with gang graffiti to keep property values down and accidentally gets dragged into gang wars. Why would someone want to lower the value of their own property? Taxes. Oh my goodness, one of Dian Foss's first close-up observations with gorillas happened when she was trying to climb a tree to see them better, but so badly that by the time she'd gotten up, the entire group had come out of hiding to look at her. Nearly all members of the group had totally exposed themselves, forgetting about hiding coyly behind foliage screens, because it was obvious to them that the observer had been distracted by tree climbing problems, an activity they could understand. Hello, fellow apes. Apparently, spite is not an appropriate answer to what motivates you. Okay, so the tattoo artist I have been going to for all of my tats seriously does everything in his life out of spite. He became a tattoo artist because he was told it was stupid. He got married because his friends told him not to. He bought a house with a picket fence because he was told he wasn't the kind of guy that would do that. And he had a kid because he was told he would be a crap father. He has a nice wife, an adorable little girl, a good house, and is an award-winning tattoo artist. Live your life in spite. Going through my Microsoft Word archives is great fun, because I always find the wildest sh in there, and by the wildest sh I mean the time I tried to rewrite the entire Bible from scratch, at the age of 11 and a half. And so Adam and Eve were cast out of the Garden of Eden and Eve turned to Adam and said, "Nice going, loser." Iconic. "Eve," said God in a terrible voice, "hast thou eaten from the tree of knowledge?" "The snake told me to do it," cried Eve, and pointed to the snake, which was starting to look as though it would rather be somewhere else. God said, "Cain, what hast thou done? Thou hast slain thy beloved brother." And Cain replied with dignity, "He is resting." And God said to Cain, "You are cursed among mankind. Begone." And Cain did go away, and God also went away, and Abel remained where he was, and attracted flies. And so Cain did have more sons, and his sons had sons, and his sons' sons had sons, and so on and so forth. Amen. There is no difference between Coke, Pepsi, Dr. Pepper, Sprites, Ginger Ale, Roots Beard, Mountain Dew, all of them. They're all exactly the same. Ginger Ale official. Ho ho ho. Comparing these other drinks to ginger ale is like sticking your hand in a blender. Because in both situations, you'll know soon enough. Hi Ginger Ale official. Thanks for your comment on my post. Except, no thanks. Your heart will stop beating at 9:10 p.m. Est on 2018/04/30. Make the best of your remaining time. Venus. I got rid of my heart 25 years ago to make room for ginger ale. Do not fear though friend. Your reckoning will soon be upon you. I'm witnessing a conversation between two gods. Kids are just like PPPT until one day they're like, "Oh I can think," and then it's all downhill from there. The greatest mistake anyone ever made was letting me develop sentience. Yeah, we get it. The Joker eats babies and microwaves puppies and is so edgy. All the other villains are 10,000 spooked by Gotham's Doom Clown. I mean, even the funny versions of him in kids' Batman content still tend to assume he's the most dangerous villain in that setting, and that's just plain old at this point. What if even all the gritty grisly adult Batman stuff we still have just went straight back to Joker being a campy goofball, practically a G-rated kiddie show grade menace, even if the rest of the setting is still grimdark? What if he barely ever even kills people? How much funnier and genuinely more interesting would it be if in the middle of Batman investigating a rash of gruesome occult dismemberments or whatever this whole clown shows up and successfully pranks both sides with some day one clown like a big giant whoopee cushion. It doesn't have acid in it or anything. It doesn't explode. He just masterfully puppeteers both Batman and the satanic blood cult, or whatever, into making a big fart noise in front of everybody, and somehow gets away with it. Like, that'd be the thing about him. His ability to manipulate and dupe people would be almost terrifying, but it's all the more infuriating that he uses it for petty, infantile nonsense that just inconveniences and humiliates everybody, and is somehow the one guy who can always outsmart Batman. No matter what, Batman would fucking hate it so much. He would hate it even more for how trivial it is. I would read the hell out of that. In fact, what if he somehow manages to avoid ever breaking a real law, but he causes such bizarre disruption they keep having to make new ones? Superman's like, hey Bruce, is it true it's illegal in Gotham to bring an armadillo on a Ferris wheel? And Batman just does not want to talk about it. The general public doesn't get it. They think the clown guy is hilarious. Only Bruce sees how horrific, almost supernaturally impossible his planning, his invasions of privacy would have to be to pull anything off. He ruins the entire public image and credibility of other villains and heroes. He robs people of huge victories with things as banal as pies in the face. With a complex domino effect, ending in only a glitter bomb, he topples a criminal empire Bruce was obsessed over for years, and now Batman looks like a big dump. One day, in the middle of the actual Batcave, he slips on a banana peel. Nobody was eating bananas. There is never any proof the Joker did it, or any other evidence the Joker might know who he is. But now the Batman is haunted for the rest of his life by 1. His dead parents, and 2. A banana. Therapy, but there's an audience that laughs at you. Dr. Phil. Tumblr. Can I just say, isn't it insane that polar bears go underground? Like, imagine just walking along with a shovel and you start digging a hole and a bear is in there. They're just there in the snow. I know it's supposed to be scary that there is apex predators just potentially sleeping under the surface of the snow, like some kind of Greek mythology monster, but it just makes me laugh because them living in holes just means polar bears just have little houses and look out of their little windows like, bonjour. Am I the good boy? Really? I mean, this is the most sincere, heart filled with love way this dog looks like a worm on a string. For generalized anxiety disorder, an increased muscular tonus in comparison to non-anxious persons has been found. Good news, we are all yoked as hell. Sadly, this is not because we are constantly clenching our muscles. They actually say it's because we are all trembling 24/7, which is objectively way funnier. Like Chihuahua. One of those scenes in a movie where someone drops his smoke grenade and disappears while everyone is coughing and stumbling around. Only when the smoke clears, they're still standing there looking embarrassed and a little bit nervous. Villain. Oh dear, it looks like we are experiencing a little technical difficulty. Hold on, just give me a moment. Villain. Drops another grenade, and when it clears they are still standing there. Villain. Laughing nervously. I don't understand. This always works in the movies. Hero. I think you're supposed to run away and hide after you do it. Villain. Oh. Right. Yes, that makes sense. Thank you. Villain. Fumbles with another grenade and almost drops it before lighting it. So long, suckers. When the smoke clears this time, they can still be seen running away in the distance. Everyone saying Heens do Fenchmerts. You're the only people here I respect. Man. Has anyone ever told you you're beautiful? Me? Oh no sir. Today is my first day out of doors and Papa forbade mirrors in the house lest we fall victim to vanity. I've been laughing at this on and off for 2 straight days. Do you guys ever see your pet sleeping by you and just think holy sh this little animal feels safe enough and trusts me enough to be near me and fall asleep near me, and just how fucking cool is that? But then you're in a gremlin speaks. Get the beans. Hey, I've never had a nightmare before and kinda wanna know what they're like. Can you help me out? Sure. See you soon. This is so fucking powerful, it burnt off all my eyebrows. I have always been partial to stories which feature the removal of many layers of clothing as an important plot element. One of my favorite Scandinavian folktales is about a queen who, through some magical conception mishap, gives birth to twins. The younger twin is beautiful and normal in every way, but the older twin is just, ick now, a big horrible snake with arms. When the younger twin grows up and wants to get married, the lindworm returns and insists that he, as the elder prince, must be married first. When a massive horrible snake with arms lays down the law like that, there isn't really any room for disagreement, but it turns out to be awfully hard to find a bride willing to marry him. The king and queen search far and wide for a woman who will take a husband who is 50 feet long, doesn't have legs, and may or may not eat his would-be wives when they are appalled by him. But eventually, they find the local shepherd's daughter, who is either coerced, a monsterfucker, or just very open-minded, and agrees to marry the lined worm. Depending on the version, the bride either seeks out the advice of a witch, or comes up with the idea all by herself, and goes to the bedchamber on her wedding night dressed in many layers of dresses. Her big horrible snake with arms husband is waiting for her, and bids her to disrobe, but she asks him to shed a skin as well. Her sexy Russian nesting doll cosplay has so many layers that by the time she is naked, he has shed all of his skins and is 1. Either a sexy naked human dude underneath, or 2. Is this meaty blob of helpless worm meat that must be whipped and bathed in chemicals before he transforms into a sexy naked human dude. Either way, they presumably live happily ever after, and the younger prince can finally get married. I'd like to know how the elder prince adjusted to having a human body. He was born a lined worm and lived his entire life slithering around. He's never worn pants. He's never had to sit on a toilet. What's he gonna do now that he's a sexy 20-something heir to the throne? Is it a shock for him when he looks down and he's just got one sexual organ? His butt is in the back now. He's got to shave. He's got to eat with a fork and a knife and chew his food instead of unhinging his jaw and swallowing it whole. Is it weird for him? Is his honeymoon spent learning to walk onto legs? Is his instinct to crawl out of bed and drag himself across the floor by his arms? Does he roll onto his back and play dead when he gets scared? Does he wrap his torso around his lunch and attempt to constrict it? Is his wife into this? There's no way to predict where this post is going from just the beginning. Ladies, if he's tall, hairy, shredded, has glowing red eyes, and is widely considered to be a bad omen due to having been reportedly sighted shortly before the collapse of the Silver Bridge in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, in 1967. That's not your man. That's Mothman. Or, if you have taste, that's your man, Mothman. I got a tattoo of Casper the Friendly Ghost on my thigh. When I would slap it, he'd whisper the answers to my math test to me. If anyone else tried to slap it, Casper would say, "Not so friendly now, huh," and then proceed to choke them. Man, paying attention to who's posting these makes a huge difference. Why is The Sims so addictive, but only for a short amount of time? Like, all you do is play The Sims. You don't sleep, you don't eat. It's like you're on drugs for around 2 days, and then forget about it for the next whole year. God creating Adam and Eve, then f***ing off for the rest of the eternity like.